Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Dina Nur Endah Savitri. I'm from Advanced Speaking A1. Today I will present an article about using communicative games in improving students' speaking skills by Ratna Sari Dewi, Umi Kulsum, and Ari Armadi. Background of this study. The first one is a research is carried out to analyze and to prove whether communicative games can improve students' speaking skills. In this case, the 7th grade students are chosen as the subject of the study because they are considered as the lower level in speaking skill than the other classes, based on the interview toward the English teachers. Here, the researcher tries to propose a strategy in teaching English, especially teaching speaking, namely communicative game. Based on the introduction and the objectives, it is assumed that communicative game can improve students' speaking skills. The second is communicative games can be an alternative way to overcome students' difficulties in learning how to speak English. In fact, they can improve their speaking skills. However, talking about communicative games cannot be separated from those two terms, communicative and game. The word communicative refers to the communicative approach in which teaching learning activity avoids the concentration towards grammar and vocabulary, but emphasizes on the significance of language function by Harmer 2001. In other words, these activities will involve students in real communication, where the achievement of their communicative task is more important than the accuracy of language they use. Therefore, it can give positive impact towards students' motivation and classroom atmosphere, which in line with Michael G. Wallace's 1987. Language games are used for increasing emphasis on the importance of motivation and the appropriate kind of positive affective atmosphere in the classroom. Research objective. Specifically, this study tried to find out whether communicative games have an impact on teaching speaking skill and describe how communicative games give an influence on speaking skills of students at junior high schools in Jakarta, Indonesia. Theoretical framework of this study. Several factors or theories shows that communicative games could improve learners' speaking skill. The first one is from Harmer 2001. There are many ways to help the students to overcome their difficulties in speaking English. When the teachers want to encourage students to speak, they have to use communicative approach that avoids the concentration towards grammar and vocabulary but emphasize on the significance of language function. In other words, these activities will involve students in real communication, where the achievement of their communicative task is more important than the accuracy of language they are using. However, Harmer 2004 continued his statement that in order to do these activities, there must be something that makes students interested in communication. The second is from Mahmoud and Tani 2014. Game can be a solution as it stated by Prank that game is used for giving intense and passionate involvement in communication to the students so that they can feel enjoyment and pleasure in learning. Therefore, teachers have to try to motivate students to speak by using games combined with communicative approach so that hopefully it can create a good circumstance, encourage students to take part actively and improve the quality of students' communicative competence. The next one is from Hatfield, 1996. Game means an activity with rules, a goal, and an element of fun. And the last one is from Wright et al., 2006. Game is an activity in which the learners play and usually interact with others. Research method of this study. Design Classroom Action Research or CIR. Instruments. The first one is the participants of the study were the English teacher and 36 students from the 7th grade junior high school of 6 South Tangerang, Jakarta, Indonesia. The next one is collaborative action research. In this study, the researcher used collaborative action research in which the cooperative with one of the English teachers of junior high school in Jakarta. The teacher acted as an observer while the researcher acted as teacher who taught by using communicative games. The teacher was as an active participant who was not only functioning as an observer but also taking actions by making lesson plan and giving assessment. Then she collected and analyzed the data together with the researcher. It consists of 2 cycles in which each cycle contains 4 phases: planning, acting, observing, and reflecting. The next one is compare the test result between pre-test and the test. After implementing the classroom action research in the 7th grade students of junior high schools, the writer conducted the test post-test 1 and 2 in each cycle. To compare the test result between pre-test and the test of each cycle, the writer uses some steps. Those are calculating the student's mean score of the test, calculating the class percentage, and calculating the student's improvement score from pre-test to post-test 1 and post-test 2 into percentage. The interview towards the English teacher was also carried out to know her response about implementation of the action. The last one is questionnaire. Questionnaire was administered to know the students' responses towards the implementation of communicative game. Results or findings. Several things are related to the implementation of communicative games were shown by the observational notes. There might always be strengths and weaknesses. Each of them was always discussed comprehensively by teacher and researcher so that it could be the material for future evaluation. At the end, all these shortcomings could be overcome. As an example, at the beginning of the action, the teacher still had difficulty in several things such as time management and class control. But then, soon after that, he corrected his mistakes so that it did not happen again in the next pass. From the student's side, at first, they looked confused, ashamed, and afraid when they were asked to speak. They still had difficulties in expressing their ideas, opinion, and thoughts, and they were still hard to pronounce the new vocabularies and also less motivated to play the games. Those problems were discussed and analyzed, then communicative game came as a solution so that problem could be overcome. Therefore, the researcher can barely say that communicative games have given positive impact on teaching learning process. The researcher also carried out the post-interview towards the English teacher on Tuesday, 2nd January 2016. The aim was to know the teacher's view towards teaching learning activities using communicative games. In this case, the researcher divided the question into 3 criteria: the student's condition in English class during classroom action research, the difficulties in implementing communicative games during classroom action research, or CIR, and the teacher's opinion towards the effectiveness of communicative games implemented in English-speaking activities. According to the teacher answers within the interview, it was found that the students' conditions were better than before in the terms of confidence, participation, enthusiasm, and fluency. She said that communicative games can create good circumstances in which students can learn while playing the games. It makes the students feel comfort in their learning and also reduce their boredom and stress. However, she told that this technique needs a good preparation. The more the teacher prepares, the more it will lead to success. It also depends on the creativity of teachers in conducting the games, the way they deliver the instruction, the way they control the class, and the way they manage the time. At last, she implied that this game must be preserved and continued. In her opinion, communicative games are very beneficial and have a good impact towards English-speaking activities in the classroom. Conclusion: the study revealed that using communicative game as means of instruction improve the students' achievement and results of speaking skill. Students enjoyed their lesson and got more motivation, interest, and confidence through their learning. Therefore, communicative games should be applied as design activities in teaching speaking skills. It is recommended that the study should be preserved and extended to other language skills. That's all from me. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.